Hello there, fellow digital dwellers. Now, if you've ever felt your brain start to sputter like an overclocked engine after scrolling through endless new trends on social media, then welcome home. You are not alone. Your neurons are screaming in unison, and dare I say, laughing at the absurdity of it all. Let's start with a little cold, hard data. Over the past 10 years, trends on social media have multiplied like rabbits on a caffeine high. What once was a once-a-month novelty now bombards us every hour, every minute, sometimes even every second. And like that dreadful text message you get at 3 a.m. from your ex, these trends just don't know when to quit. So, what exactly is trend fatigue? Picture your brain as a sponge. Yes, a sponge, though not the cute kind you use to scrub dishes, but one that's been dunked in a tsunami of memes, dance challenges, and viral recipes for avocado toast. Over time, that sponge becomes saturated, wrung out, and utterly exhausted. It no longer has the capacity to absorb even the slightest hint of novelty. And that, dear viewers, is trend fatigue, a state where the relentless parade of trends leaves you feeling numb, detached, and a tad bit nihilistic. Now, you might ask, why should I care about this digital malaise? Well, trend fatigue isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a genuine psychological phenomenon with a heavy toll on our mental well-being. Our modern, hyper-connected lives are a double-edged sword. On one side, we have the dazzling light of endless inspiration. On the other, we're plunged into the darkness of information overload, where each new trend is like a mini existential crisis, only with more hashtags. Let's break this down with a mixed method approach, part data, part narrative. First, consider the psychology behind our craving for novelty. As humans, we're hardwired for curiosity. That's why, when you see a new dance craze or an unexpected meme, your brain lights up with dopamine, the same feel-good chemical that makes chocolate, puppies, and, if you're like me, an appropriately timed snarky remark so satisfying. But here's the kicker. When novelty becomes constant rather than occasional, our dopamine receptors get desensitized. It's like when you binge-watch every season of your favorite show. After a while, even the most thrilling cliffhanger becomes as bland as last week's leftovers. This desensitization is not unlike our bodies developing tolerance to a drug. The more you indulge, the less you feel. And when you're left with an insatiable appetite for stimulation, even the simplest trend can feel like a burdensome obligation rather than a delightful distraction. Now, let's talk about the impact on our mental well-being. Constant exposure to fleeting trends can lead to a feeling of perpetual inadequacy, an ever-looming fear of missing out, or FOMO, that morphs into what I like to call trend PTSD. Yes, it's a bit dark, but bear with me. Imagine waking up every day with your brain already reeling from last night's barrage of viral content. It's no wonder many of us feel exhausted, anxious, and occasionally convinced that our lives are just a series of empty clicks and double taps. Trend fatigue can also lead to what we term digital burnout. This isn't your run-of-the-mill burnout from a 9-to-5 job. It's a burnout induced by the relentless pressure to keep up with an ever-changing digital landscape. When your social feed feels like an endless conveyor belt of what's next, your capacity for critical thinking and genuine human connection starts to wither away. We become passive consumers, scrolling mindlessly while our authentic selves lie dormant, like that one drawer in your closet filled with outdated fashion trends and regrets. Now I know what you're thinking. Is there any hope for us in this digital jungle? And my dear, weary viewer, there is indeed hope. Understanding the mechanics behind trend fatigue is the first step in reclaiming our mental space. Here are a few strategies, grounded in psychological research, that might help us navigate this relentless tide. 1. Mindful consumption. Practice mindfulness by deliberately choosing when and how to engage with social media. Think of it as curating your digital diet. Opt for nourishing content rather than junk food for the brain. 2. Digital detoxes. Regularly unplug from the digital world. Set aside times where your phone is relegated to a dark drawer, and you can reconnect with the analog world. Trust me, the world won't end if you miss one viral dance challenge. 3. Set boundaries. Establish clear limits for your screen time and stick to them. Use apps that track and limit your usage. Your brain and your productivity will thank you. 4. Cultivate deep connections. Invest in real-life relationships. Nothing beats the warmth of a genuine conversation over a cold digital notification. Reconnect with friends, family, or even that quirky neighbor who always wears mismatched socks. 5. Embrace impermanence. Accept that trends come and go. Learn to find joy in timeless activities. Reading a good book, taking a walk in nature, or simply sitting in silence without the constant hum of notifications. In our journey to understand trend fatigue, it's essential to remember that our minds are remarkably resilient. The very fact that we can feel this overload is a testament to our capacity for adaptation and growth. In the chaos of endless digital stimuli, there exists an everyday miracle, the opportunity to consciously reclaim our attention and choose what truly matters. So how do we harness this miracle? It begins with awareness, recognizing that our digital environment is designed to capture and hold our attention by any means necessary, and that, quite frankly, it doesn't care about your mental well-being, is liberating. Once we understand this, we can start to break the cycle. We can choose to engage with content that enriches us rather than drains us. We can become curators of our own mental space. Imagine for a moment a world where every trend you encounter is filtered through a lens of intentionality. A world where you are not merely a passive consumer, but an active curator of your own digital destiny. In this world, the barrage of trends becomes a manageable stream, not a raging river that sweeps you away into oblivion. But, and here's the kicker, this isn't just about personal sanity. It's about reclaiming our culture from the relentless, homogenizing forces of digital capitalism. When we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by trends, we lose sight of what makes us human, the messy, beautiful, unpredictable complexity of our emotions and thoughts. And that, my friends, is the ultimate tragedy. A world where we've outsourced our humanity to algorithms and hashtags. Now, let's wrap this up before your brain short-circuits. Trend fatigue is not a curse. It's a wake-up call. It tells us that amidst the ceaseless digital noise, we still have the power to choose. We have the power to say, enough is enough, to pause, breathe, and rediscover the quieter joys of life. As we step away from our screens, if only for a moment, to savor the stillness of a sunset or the gentle murmur of real conversation, we begin to heal. We learn that while trends will always come and go, the core of our well-being remains within us. It is resilient, adaptable, and, dare I say, delightfully unpredictable. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the psychology of trend fatigue. If you found this exploration both enlightening and, let's be honest, a bit cathartic, then please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more mind-bending content, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, remember, trends are like bad haircuts. They come, they go, and eventually you learn to rock your natural self. Stay curious, stay critical, and most importantly, stay human. Until next time, keep your minds unfiltered.